if you follow these steps, you can also get to 40K, 50K, 100K a month. I was blown away at how well this worked. This is the first offer that I launched that was, actually really successful. I was able to launch a brand new offer to a brand new audience, get to 40K a month in 120 days. So how I was able to do this is quite simple, actually. So the first thing that was really important here was the video. And the most important thing about the video, it went viral. So it went viral and it did about 600K views. So, that's quite a lot on YouTube. And it boosted our channel from about maybe 1K subscribers to about 10K. So that was pretty good. But what that actually resulted in was our community growing. Before the video went viral, we were at about 200 members, and then it grew to about 1,000, right? Mind you, like this niche and this community had heavy, heavy sales resistance, okay? This is in Korea, and in Korea, they do not buy very expensive online products. But I was able to infiltrate this market because we were able to create such a good offer and good community for this product. What I was selling at the time was Airbnb coaching, okay? Product, the offer was 6K. So 6K for a course. And we were actually able to generate about 100K in the first, I want to say 90 days. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty successful. Let's talk about now the strategies that we used in order to actually get to this place. So let's talk about the video first. While we did have this video that went viral, we also had a content funnel, okay? So this is what our funnel looked like, right? This is the top. This is the viral content, okay? So this is your top of funnel. This is where you're going to get all those eyeballs that are going to go down here, okay? And then in the mid, here we had our community, right? And then at the bottom of the funnel, we had our YouTube videos they're basically pre-selling our audience based off of like all the details that we give people. We show people the process of setting up Airbnbs. We show people the process of doing all this stuff. And it basically gives a lot of credibility to us and builds a lot of authority. And so when we hit them with this offer, they're ready to go. Now, I will say that this offer as well, we were able to sell, I think it was 15 or 16 people without even having a product live. So we pre-sold them. We pre-sold this and then we built the course. So here's at the bottom, this is the YouTube channel. Now we did this without any like Twitter, no Instagram, no big social media, just YouTube. Only one channel, right? So I'll just add to this one channel, right? That is the power of YouTube. You really do not need a whole, big army of social media stuff to make this stuff work. So yeah, that's what we were able to do. We had, I would say, 6 videos or something, 6, 7 videos, maybe 10 videos about, let's just call it 10. We had 10 videos that were pre-selling our audience, right? And one of these might be, how to set up your Airbnb. One of these might be why to do Airbnb here. And another one is like an interview with someone who's really good at Airbnb. Like it just builds credibility for your audience and pre-sells all of your, content that you eventually want to sell, right? Now we built this community without an offer, right? We didn't have this. So we spent all that time building the community and building the channel, right? So let me talk about another thing we did in order to build the community and build the channel. Here's the first thing, okay? Community can start super, super small. I remember I had a YouTube channel that had 50 subscribers. Do you want to know how many people who are in the community? 50. So your subscribers can be like directly linked to how many people are in your community. Even if you don't get a whole lot of views, I was getting 100 views, 200 views. One of my videos kind of popped off. It got 600 views. Those views can really instantly convert into people in your community. So I had a free school community for Airbnb that reached 50 people within a couple videos, right? And so over time, we were able to grow this to 200 people. And that was at maybe like 10 videos, right? 10 videos. This was at 5 videos. Okay, so that makes sense. Next part, this is how we went from 200 to 1,000, right? Because when you reach 1,000, then you can really have a lot of leverage with what kind of offers you want to launch, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. What really took us to here was getting viral. But how do we go viral? Okay, how do you go viral? I'll go viral. I think there's a lot of ways you can go viral, right? You can obviously make some content that is very unique and very different, and that's probably the most important thing to go viral. You can trend jack, everyone's searching DeepSeek or something, and you can follow that. That's one way. But here's a couple ways. So first one is stand out, right? Do you know how many coaches there are selling fitness products, selling fitness programs? Why would I go with yours when I can go with this guy's who's 10x better? The only reason is your own creativity, your own personality, your own way to stand out. That is the only reason. So if your videos and content are not about standing out, if they don't show that you're standing out every single time, then, it's not going to go viral. It can't go viral. So you have to stand out in some way, right? That's the first part. Second part, I don't know if you can read this, but it says hijack influencers. So it says hijack influencers. What does that mean? Well, there's probably influencers in your space that have a whole lot more followers than you. Maybe you have a channel that's at 1K subscribers, right? Well, you've got people in your niche who've got like 20K, right? We've got 20K. Or this person, maybe they've got 100K, right? How do you network with these people, right? It's actually really simple. So all you want to do is leave comments on their YouTube channel. So you're going to leave comments on YouTube, right? Simple. We're going to leave comments on their YouTube channel. That's what we did. We literally left a comment on every single niche's channel, so that we were able to dominate the market. We were like top comment on all of these channels. That's how you can drive a lot of traffic just to your own channel if you're starting out, right? After that, what we did was we cold emailed them. So we were able to find the contact and we cold emailed these influencers. Not everyone responded, but we were able to get a pretty big YouTuber who had, I think, 200,000 subscribers to shoot a video with us, actually do 2 videos with us, or maybe it was 3. We did a lot of videos with her. She really liked us. So because of that, our channel exploded. So all of her audience suddenly was looking at our content, right? And she had 200K. It took us from 200 members to 1,000 members. And it took us from 1K to 10K. So we went to 10K like literally overnight, right? It was super simple. So yeah, that's the first part, is building the community and going viral. This is going back to the one video and one community. One video, one community. That's all you need, right? That's all you need. You just need one video to pop off, okay? And these other videos, I'm sure you've got your own expertise, and you can put those out there, and people will look at them, get pre-sold. Let's talk about the other part now, which is the offer. What's this offer? How do we structure it? How did we get people to buy in? How do we get people to actually pay this price, 6K? It's not easy to get someone to pay 6K, right? And especially in a market where no one pays 6K. Okay. All the coaching products on the market in this niche, in that country, in South Korea, is like 2K, 3K. We literally doubled the price. So yeah, basically, if you want to see me build this for you, I can literally install this into your business so that you're able to have the correct offer, have the correct content systems, and have the correct delivery on the back end, so you're not leaking money and you can actually scale to 40K a month. The link is down below. You can book a call or you can reach out on Instagram, and then we can talk. We can see if it's a good fit and see if we can work together. So there's a couple things we did a little bit different. Because so at the start, we were kind of tinkering with things. We were trying to figure out what works. We tried to do a done for you service, right? We tried to do this for like 6K or for like 5K or something. It was like 5K, but maybe like total upfront that the client needs to invest because they're doing Airbnb. It's like they need to put in like 30K. Okay, it's just too much, right? No one wants to do like a cold done for you 30K just off rip. It's a little hard. So how did we beat this? Well, the first thing we did was we implemented something called a coffee chat. Okay. And yes, we were doing these on or offline. We're doing these offline, but sometimes online. So this was $100 per person. Okay. So you can imagine, like, you can, make $1,000 with 10 people. And mind you, the community was 1,000 people. So when we put up a link for the coffee chat here, like apply for your coffee chat, they were ready to go, so we got hundreds of applications. So right away, you're already generating like, we already made like 10K right here, just on the coffee chat. Okay. So that's going to get your initial cash flow, right? And what is easy about this is it's simple for you to deliver. It's simple for the customers to start. If you have a really, really small community, maybe it's not going to work. But once enough demand is generated, something like this can be very, very easy to implement and also bring in cash flow if you're lacking that. And what we were lacking at the time is cash flow. So we really needed the cash flow, so we implemented this. Eventually, we did bump up the price. We made this more expensive. But it was me and a partner, and so he was able to do all the coffee chats. I was, focused on other parts like marketing and running the business and everything else. So it worked out perfectly. So what do we do now? So we have the coffee chat, right? And the coffee chat led into a consultation, right? So on the coffee chat, we were actually able to upsell people to one of two things. We started out though with a 6K course. Okay. It's just a course. We had one weekly coaching call. We had one week. So it's just a 6K course. We had one weekly coaching call, and we had, I don't know, maybe like 20 modules or something. We did maybe 100 coffee chats, right? Which is already 10K. So we already had 10K. Perfect, right? We're feeling good, and that's building momentum. I think that's another important thing. We're building momentum. We don't want to just be like taking sales call, and slogging through it, right? Because we're actually solving problems for them on this coffee chat. It's not like, why would someone pay to take a sales call? They will. And the reason why is because if my prospect can determine if this is a good idea for them or not for $100, that's great. If they can figure out that this is not the business model for them, they're going to pay that $100 and move on, go to something else, right? But if this is something for them, then they're going to pay the $100 to us, right? They're going to be even more bought in. And then we do the consultation. And at this stage, they are so bought in that it's a lot easier to sell this. Where we got this idea is there was this guy who's living in the most fancy place in Korea. He's living in a $5 million apartment. We went to his place and I asked him a couple questions. He said, the first thing I do and the only thing I do every day is think about how can I hook people's attention? How can I hook their interest? How can I make them go through my funnel and go through my content so much that I can then sell them stuff? And so that was a good eye-opening moment. And the other thing I asked was, how do you make it? How do you make all this money? How do you make them pay 10K? How do you make them pay 15K? And he says, I make them buy in so much and so long and go through so many steps that they have no choice but to pay. Okay? And so it's not like it sounded like manipulation at the time, but looking at it, it actually makes a lot of sense, right? They actually gain a lot of value from this consultation call, right? Because if some coach, right, is gatekeeping all of their secrets, gatekeeping their time, gatekeeping everything for 6K, some people may not like that. And especially in my market, they didn't like that. And so this is a way you can actually break through that noise a little bit. So anyways, this is what we offered. One weekly coaching call, 20 modules. It was pre-sold. We pre-sold this to 16 people so that we were able to launch this and it didn't look like it's completely dead, right? We wanted to have like some people in the community. And so after we did the 16, then we introduced another offer, which was our done for you from the start, right? Now that everyone is pre-sold, they're locked into the course. Now we can get them to do the 30K up front. And that 30K wasn't necessarily to us. Only like 5K was to us. But it's still, for them, it's a big upfront investment. Yeah, this basically takes you through the structure of my offer. I think the key here was the consultation, the coffee chat. This is a big one. Being able to offer a little bit of value for $100. This is not what a lot of coaches do. A lot of like high-end coaches as well. They're not going to sell their time for $100 because I don't know, they think they're too valuable. I get it as well. But over time, we learned that this is a very useful tool for prospecting, right? We can qualify leads and we can get paid at the same time. And eventually, it doesn't have to be you. You don't have to be the one who's doing the consult either. You can also have a small course. Basically, on our YouTube channel, it was kind of set up as the whole YouTube channel was a free course. That's kind of another thing. Let's talk about the bottom of funnel content at the end here. So this is the bottom of funnel content, right? We want to have a bunch of videos that link together, right? A bunch of videos that link together. So if I want to set up an Airbnb or I want to get a 6-pack, I want to, become a better man, whatever your coaching product is, or whatever your agency service is. This can work for B2B too. This is not strictly limited to B2C. You need to lead your customer or potential prospect on a journey through your media, right? Through your content. So the first one is going to be like step one, right? This is step one. This is step two. This is step three. This is step four for whatever you're trying to sell, right? For example, if I want to open an Airbnb, I need to know how to do real estate research. So that's step one, right? What else do I need to know? I need to know how to do interior design. I need to know how to hire people. I need to hire cleaners. I need to hire maintenance people. I need to hire managers. So I need to do hiring. All right. You get the point, right? Each video is some particular skill that is necessary for success, right? These all go into what? Making an Airbnb or whatever goal your ICP has, right? So this is going to be directly locked into your ICP's goal. So you're going to make all of these videos showing how your ICP gets to their goal, whether it's make more money online, run Facebook ads better, open an e-com store, whatever your offer is. Make sure that all of these videos are pointing to your ICP's goal. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you follow these steps, you can also get to 40K, 50K, 100K a month. I was blown away at how well this worked. This is the first offer that I launched that was, actually really successful. And so I wanted to share, exactly how I went through that process. But yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know, what stage of this you're kind of struggling at if you are, and I can make more content around that. But yeah, hope you guys can make some money with this structure. I know it works and it was revolutionary for me. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.